Hi, my name is Mashantha and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a space where I talk about my beauty journey, which includes skincare, makeup, and self love. So, thank you for taking the time out to be here, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I am super excited about today's video. I wanted to do like an in depth look at the Naughty Nude palette by Huda Beauty. So my plan is to take you through the anatomy of the palette, the kind of shades there are, the color story, how I find the quality, etc. And also try showing you a couple of looks from the palette. Today's video is all about Huda's Naughty Nude palette. This is how it looks like. This is how the palette looks. You've got 18 shades, 6 in each row. 8 matte shades. So the matte ones are as follows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 7 metallics or shimmers, a couple of duochromes, like this is a duochrome and this is a duochrome. And finally, you have one really strange, sort of a slippery shade. So I'm going to do the top row first. Filthy, which is a cool tone pink. Passion, which is a duochrome shade. Shameless, which is a pinky glitter shade. Please Me, a brown tone glitter shade. Hypnotic, a sandy matte. Hard, a duo matte formula which pulls across as brown when swatched. So this is row 1. Now we're going to go ahead with the second row, this one. This is Untamed, which is a berry matte. Irresistible, which is a warmer pink glitter formula. Flower Power, which is a gold chunky formula. Now you have Rough, a milk chocolate matte. Spicy, a plum matte. Arouse, a peachish orange matte. Third and final row. Slippery, a clear glossy formula. And then you have Tantric, which is like a gold shimmer, gold foil rather. Naughty, a maroon matte, similar to Untamed. Provocative, a muted pink glitter. Desire, a vibrant red shimmer. And then finally, Juicy. And yeah, brownish peachish color. As the first step, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Eye Primer all across. So I'm going to take the shade Arouse, drop it all over my lid. I'm going for a monochromatic peachish orangish look. So I'm just going to take an eyeshadow brush and blend out the edges. It does give your eyes such a pretty wash of color. I'm using the Lip Mousse by Rare Beauty in the shade Brave. Now I'm using a liquid blush by Rare Beauty in the shade Love. And there you have a really fresh monochromatic peachish look. I think this is such a pretty fresh look. So I'm going to start with Untamed on my lids. I'm now taking an eyeshadow brush to blend the edges out. You want to blend to make sure that there are no harsh lines. It's essentially using an eyeshadow brush and using small round strokes to blend the edges. Let me try with Provocative and see how it looks. So I'm taking my index finger, dipping into Provocative. This is how it looks. And then just putting it down the center and the front portion of my lids. This is a hard pressed glitter, so it is not pulling in enough pigment. I'm now using a Gucci matte lipstick in the shade Louisa Red. This has to be one of my most favorite pinky red lipsticks. I'm now using a cream blush by Flower Beauty in the shade Bitten. This is a superbly pigmented blush. You will see that a little goes a really long way. And I've already dabbed too much on my cheeks. It was just way too much. I have to fix this. I know I look like a clown with way too much blush on, But don't worry, I will be fixing this. That's the beauty of working with makeup and layers. A lot of these things are fixable. So what you see is I'm going in with my trusted MAC powder foundation in the shade MC42 and using it all across. And now you see I have a very healthy flush of color and I don't look clown-like at all anymore. So yeah, this is one of my favorite hacks in case you're way too heavy-handed with your blush. So I'm gonna go with Zaya. Wow, that's such an amazing shimmer. I love it. Wow. See, I literally just use one shade and one finger. And now we blend with the same eyeshadow brush and the same motion. I was a little heavy-handed with the eyeshadow, so I'm just cleaning the edges using micellar water and a damp towel. I usually use cotton rounds, but I don't have any handy with me. Oh, my poor eyes. This gloss shade, which is slippery, taking it, a lot of it, all over my eye. I've decided to use eyeshadow as a liner for this look. So what I'm doing is I've taken an angled eyeshadow brush. I think this is the Real Techniques one. And I've dipped that into a darker shade called Spicy. And I'm using small strokes to create a winged liner look. I just hope I get the same thing on the other side right. And there you have it. I think this is a simple, elegant look, almost deceptively effortless. The only challenge is this is quite time consuming. I decided to sport a brown lip. This is Entwined by Clinique. I want to go with hard first. This one. This is how it swatches. It's like a smoky grayish brown actually. This is difficult to get out of. See, like it comes so deep on the finger, but on the eye it's barely there. I'm going to go in with Please Me, which is again like this pewter brown color. This is how it swatches on the hand and then go all over the lid. I think this is a nice look, very understated, very subtle look to have. So I'm going to go with this gold foil shade called Tantric. Go all over my eyelid. This is pigmented enough for it to be able to work on its own. Ta-da! The eyeshadow brush makes an appearance again. And back to blending. So blend. I'm now taking the shade Filthy, which is a cool tone pink, and putting it right above the gold lid to give it some contrast. I decided a mixture of Filthy and Juicy, which is a peachish brownish light matte, would work better for this. So that's what I'm doing here. Here I'm intensifying the gold by going in again with Tantric on top of my lid. Now to give this look some definition, I'm going in with a liner. This is my favorite liner from MAC. This is called the Brushstroke Liner. It's a felt tip liner which is super highly pigmented and I think it's one of the easiest liners to use. I love this liner despite its price because I have really not found any other liner on the market which is as easy to use as this one. This is quite embarrassing. My eyes are not even. So here I'm doing a bit of damage control to make sure both sides are even. Clearly this is the best that I can do. I'm usually not this bad. I think this has something to do with the angle at which I try to apply the liner. But you get the drift. So I have this Huda Beauty lipstick in the shade Pink Dust. Pink Ginger. It's part of the Gold Dust range if I'm not wrong. I love this color. I think Hero has the most underrated formula out there. And there you have an Indian wedding makeup look. Isn't this pretty? Like, this is just so simple. So let's end with like a pinky eye look. I'm going in again with the shade Filthy, which is the same cool tone pink that we used earlier, and just using my finger to use it all, to spread it all across my eyelid. Next, I'm layering that with the shade Shameless, which is a pink glitter in the same motion. I'm following that up with the shade Irresistible, which is like a pinky golden shimmer, which pulls across as quite pearly. And I'm layering that on top of Filthy and Shameless. I felt there was a bit of color missing, so I went in with the shade Desire, which is that vibrant red shimmer that we had swatched all across my lid earlier, to give it a more berry tone. The Estee Lauder Double Wear pencil in the shade Onyx. I wanted to open my eyes up a bit, so I'm going in with the Lancome Idol mascara. This is a fairly easy to use mascara, so you will see me working on my upper lashes right now. And you can see such a difference between a mascaraed eye and a non-mascaraed eye. And now I'm going to work on my lower lashes. And there you have it. Three things that you want to look for. The color story, which is the kind of colors that have been chosen in the palette. There are two factors to consider there. One is, do the colors inherently appeal to you? And second, are you able to use those colors, leverage those colors really, really well? Both do not mean the same thing. There may be a bunch of colors that you really like, but you realize that for your daily use and your lifestyle, those colors might not work. So the first point to look for is the color story. The second one is in terms of the pigmentation, which is the depth of color in the eyeshadow palettes. Usually you would prefer eyeshadow palettes with a mix of both. I'm the kind of person who prefers highly pigmented palettes because I don't mind spending that extra time to make sure it is blended out and flows seamlessly into the eye makeup look. If you're new to eyeshadows, then you might prefer something that is more lightly pigmented, because then even if you're heavy handed, it does not look too bad. Usually the more expensive eyeshadow palettes are the ones which are more highly pigmented. Quality of the eyeshadow. How smooth is the eyeshadow? Is it a single swipe application? Are the glitters too chunky that they fall into your eye and create a problem, make your eyes water? Just general quality of the eyeshadow. Does it irritate you? Is it easy to blend, easy to work with? So some of those elements is something that you would need to look for. The first is when it comes to the color story. I think this is a lovely color story. It is a largely neutral palette which is, it leans towards browns and nudes, etc., with pops of color, right? So you've got your pink, you've got your purple, you've got your red and orange. So this is the kind of color story that appeals to me. And for my skin tone and where I am in my makeup journey, I find that I can use this palette quite well as well. I think this is also an incredibly versatile palette, given the color story with neutrals and pops of color. This, even if you're going on a vacation, you can just manage with this. Like, I have come on a 10-day trip somewhere and this is the only eyeshadow palette that I'm carrying. The pigmentation. Here, I think there are some shadows which are really good, very deeply pigmented, and some which are more light. But even if it's light, because of the kind of color it is, like for example, the Filthy eyeshadow tends to be chalky and is a bit light. But I don't mind, because I would never use that color on my own, on its own. Had I been several shades fairer or lighter, then maybe that would work. But for my skin tone, then I don't really care too much about the pigmentation of that shade. And the third is the quality, which is, the blendability of the eyeshadows. Most of these shadows are buttery soft. They get easily picked up on my fingers, which is my preferred medium of application. They are easy to blend whenever I need to blend them. Except there are a couple of shades which are difficult to work with. For example, tantric shade I felt was, while the pigmentation, the shine was really nice, it was super chunky. So I was getting annoyed while I was using that shade. But otherwise, I would say in terms of overall quality, this eyeshadow palette is great quality. It is definitely one of the best Huda Beauty palettes out there. When it comes to should you buy it or should you not, for the quality and color story, I think this is a great palette to purchase. This is slightly expensive in India though. I think this is around 5,500. If you're interested in Huda Beauty, if you're interested in the larger palettes, I would suggest plan. Wait for when there is a discount, because there will be discounts at least once a year at any of the portals in India, and you can probably get this at like 40% off or 50% off. It's one of my favorite Huda Beauty palettes. Just to summarize on color story, wonderful. Largely neutral with pops of color, therefore it becomes a very versatile palette. Second, in terms of pigmentation, it's a broad mix, but majority of the eyeshadows are highly pigmented, and therefore you do feel that you're getting bang for your buck. And finally, in terms of quality, a lot of them are easy to use. They get picked up easily on the finger, on the brush. They blend easily. They are buttery soft. It like each look here took me less than 2 minutes to create, and that is testament to the eyeshadow quality. I didn't have to spend too much time working with the eyeshadows. So all things considered, I think this is a great palette, one of the best ways to get introduced to Huda Beauty. So if you're on the lookout for an eyeshadow palette which is large and versatile and high quality, then I think you don't have to look any further. The Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette is the best way to go. Let me know what you think. I hope this was a helpful video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video. If you found this even remotely helpful, please like, share, comment, subscribe for engagement. I will see you next week. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or a great night's sleep whenever you're watching this. Thank you once again for taking the time out and watching till the very end. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.